ES7, that is JavaScript, or ECMAScript 7, ECMAScript 8, and advanced looping. So let's get started. And I'm going to share my screen right away. Okay. So the first thing we'll be talking about today is ES7, and I just want to tell us some, histories about the versions we have in JavaScript. Because if you remember, you realize that we have different versions. So we have the ES5, we have the ES6, and we have the ES7 to ES10. And okay. And I think we've done some history classes on JavaScript, telling us where we started from and where we are presently. And we've also been, using some of the new syntaxes in JavaScript. Because you remember we started using var, then later we switched to let and const. So today we'll be talking about ES7 and ES8. So to date, ECMAScript, which is ECMAScript, we know what ECMAScript is all about. It's just like a standard. So ECMAScript has published 9, is it 9? More than 9 versions. Okay, they published 9 versions, or let me say 10 versions. Yes, they've published 10 versions. And the latest one, which is the 10th version, was published in the year 2019. So we started from, we have this is just a refresher. So we have EX1, which was published, the version was published in 1997. Then we have EX2 version, and this was published in 1998. We have ES3, which was published in 1999. Then we have ES4, and ES4 was abandoned, I think, due to some political reasons. Then we have ES5, which is what we started, with. So we have ES5, which was a version that was released in 2009. Then we have EX6. So all these things, you don't have to really know them, but then, it's good to know some basics, some little things, because sometimes they might help, because you don't know where you find yourself and probably who you'll be talking with. So we have EX7, which was released in 2016, and we have EX8, and this version was released in 2017. We have EX9, which was released in 2018, and we have EX10, and this was released last year. So then, like I said, I'm going to tell us some, because probably you're afraid now, like, Ridwan, do we have to be learning all these versions and you're afraid? Trust me, I was, when the first time I started with JavaScript, I started with, ES5, using var and the likes, and then later, I learned that there is ES6 and it's something you have to know. So I was confused and I was just like, do I have to be learning all these things? So don't worry, I will explain some of these things and why we have all these new versions and what, the kind of problem they are trying to solve. So since ECMAScript 2015, which is EX6, since it was released, it has introduced a huge set of new features, which includes the arrow functions, which we've actually been using lately. It includes sets, we haven't talked about that. It includes maps, classes, destructuring, and a lot of other things. So in many ways, this ES 2015 or ES6, because you see this being used interchangeably. Sometimes you see them in some articles, they'll say ES 2015. It's still the same thing as ES6. So ES 2015 is almost like learning a new version of JavaScript, which is what we did. some weeks back, whereby I told us, you know what, we are not using var again, we want to be using let. So ES6 brought about that change. Then later I told us, you know what, the way we are writing function is stressful. Why can't we be using arrow functions? So ES6 brought that. Then later, I told us a lot of things like, okay, instead of you using for loop, for each, why not use map, filter, then what was it called? Reduce. So ES6 brought that too. So ES 2015, you know, it's just like almost like learning a new version of JavaScript. So ECMAScript decided to release a new version of ECMAScript every year, starting from 2015. So a yearly update means no big releases like ES6. Because if you check, like the last time they released ES5 was when? 2009. So that was like 2009 minus 2000 and I'll be 2015 minus 2009. That's like how many years? 6 years. So, you know, they brought all these changes, like 6 years changes at once. That is why we have to like, we had a lot of things to learn in 2015. So since 2015, they promised like, you know what, instead of waiting for a very long time and bringing all these changes, then let's be releasing these changes every year. So that probably this year we have just one change, so that people won't be battling to understand, you know, the new syntaxes and understanding the new ways of doing things. So a yearly update means no more big releases in, you know, like ES6. So ES7 was introduced in 2016, and it is very, very, very easy to understand. And why is that? Well, because unlike ES6, you know, which had a lot of changes, ES7 only has 2 additions to the language, to the JavaScript language. So in this section, we are going to go through both of them, both of the new things that ES7 introduces into the language. So we are going to go through both of them. So the first one is includes. That's the first thing that, you know, ES7 introduced. So let me just copy these. And so the first thing, I'm going to comment all this out. The first thing this introduced is includes. So something like this, includes. So we are going to talk about this include method that was added on, you know, on strings and arrays. So I'm going to show you what this includes, you know, how it works. So with this include, I can do something like, my name is read1. So I can do something like read1 dot includes. You see that when I type in suggest dot includes, what does it include? Does read1, which is oh sorry, I made a mistake here. Read1 is a string, then that's the method on read1. So does read1 include I? So this is basically saying that read1, which is a string, does it include I? So let's see what we are going to get. So I'm going to like remove this. So if I run this now, let's see what we get in the console. It returns true. So this is basically saying that in this particular string, does this string include I? So it's just reading like English. For example, I can say, what can we say? Okay, let's say JavaScript. So we have a string of JavaScript. So I can say that, okay, does JavaScript include, do we have S in JavaScript? Or let's say, what can I say? A. Does JavaScript include A? So if I check this now, it's going to return true or false. Like, it's just like me asking a question. Does it include A? It says true. But if I check, like, does JavaScript include O? If I check now, what do I get? I get false because O is not part of the word JavaScript. So imagine you have a long list of, let's say I have this sentence, I copy it over here. So if I have this sentence and I want to check, does this, oops, let's say, let me write a sentence, or let's say we have, you get a project and they're like, we have 50 pages of, articles. So wants you to check, does these pages include a particular word? So you don't have to like be going through the pages one after the other. The best thing you can do is to use a program and go through that. So I am learning JavaScript. Learning JavaScript. So here I can say that, does this include I am? So if it includes that, it's going to return true. Then I can probably perform, you see that's true. I can probably perform some operation like, okay, if this sentence has this particular keyword inside of it, then do this. So we are actually using this on strings. We can also use it on arrays. So how can we use it on arrays? So let's take, for example, let's say I have an array of, pets. And the pets I have at home includes cats. So I have cats. Let's say I have dogs as pets and parrots, which is a bird. So I have birds, pets as pets. So in here, now we can use this include method to check. So imagine we have millions of items in this array. You using your just normal eyes to like go through it, like, does it include this particular word? It's going to take a lot of time, and on the long run, you are going to lose interest. But with JavaScript, we can use our program to check, like, okay, I have an array. Does it include, let's say, cats? So you can see that I actually misspelled this. So does it include cats? So let me just comment this out. If we check, we are going to get false because this is cat with RT. But if I remove this now and I check, does it include cats? If we check now, we get true. So, and let's check if it includes, cow is not a pet, but let's check, does it include cows? So if I check now, we are going to get false. So because it doesn't include that. So this dot includes, you can use it on arrays, you can use it on strings. So let me just use this to explain. Like, let's say we have an array with includes. So this array.includes method, it checks the array for the value passed as an argument inside here. So it's going to return true if the array contains the value. Otherwise, it returns false. So let's do another example. Let's say I have a list of numbers. So I can do let numbers equals, let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. Okay, let's stop there. So I can actually write a program like if statements, using if statement, like if numbers dot includes, does it include 2? If this includes 2, then console.log the array includes, the array contains the value. Else, console.log, let's copy this. Console.log the array does not contain the value. Oops. So if I run this now, this program is going to check. Oh, let's comment this out. Okay, yeah. So you see this. If numbers dot includes 2, that means if 2 is included in this list of items, print this out. Else, print this out. So here we have our result, which is the array contains the value. So which means it is true. What if we want to check, does the array contains 100? So if I run this now, let's see what we get. So while that is running, we are going to get the array does not contain the value 100. And why is that? Because 100 is not included in this list of items. So you see that the array does not contain the value. So that is one of them. That is one of the features, or one of the things that ES7 introduced to us, introduced into the language. So the second thing, okay, let me just write this out so that we can, before we move on to the second thing, the includes method. So the second thing that the language introduced is exponential operator. Exponential operator. So I'm just going to delete all this for now, so that we can have, okay, at least we can see. So exponential operator. And this is the second thing that JavaScript introduced, sorry for that. So actually, JavaScript already supports many arithmetic operators like plus, like minus, like multiplication, like division, and modulus, you know, and more. A lot of arithmetic operators. So ECMAScript 2016, which is ES7, introduced the exponential operator. So it has the same purpose as maths.power, though, you know, it's something we haven't talked about. But if you actually want to, like, you know, go very deep with mathematics in JavaScript, then you would want to check this out. So maths.power is very similar to this. It serves the same purpose, but this returns, this exponential operator returns the first argument raised to the power of the second argument. So what do I mean by this? Let's say we want to square some numbers. So let's just write a function for that. Let's say I want to write, I'm writing a function to square x, so that whenever we pass a number to this, then it's going to return the square of that. So it's going to return the square of that. So we can do it like this. So this is exponential operator. So if I run this function now, like square, if I run this function, so if I run the function now like square, excuse me, sorry for that. So if I run this function now, square, let's say I want to find the square of 2. So if I run this function, and let's comment this out, or let's just delete this. So if I run this function now, I get, okay, let's see what we are going to get. We got 4. So I can use this function. Let's say I want to find the square of 100. So if I do this now, that is 100 times 100. So it is 100 raised to power 2. And I think it used to be like something like this in mathematics, whereby, do I have raised to power 2 on my keyboard? No. So it's just like you have inverted V, then 2. But I hope we understand. And we can also do the cube too. So how do we do that? You know, just write const cube equals to whatever, let's do y, whatever value we give to it, then y star star raised to power 3. So if I do this now, and I do cube, what is the cube of 3? That should be 9. So if I run this program, I get 27. Oh, sorry. That is, so this means 3 times 3, which is 9. 9 times 3, 27, which is right. So I can use this for a very large number. Let's say I want to find the cube of 300. So if I run this, I'm going to get my what's it called back? So my result back. So that is very nice. So ECMAScript is going to be releasing small incremental changes every year so that it is so easy for we JavaScript developers, to stay on top of the language and avoid scenarios like EX6, which was released in 2015, where all of these changes were made and people had a very hard time trying to like learn all of them. So now, with these two simple things in your tool belt, you can go ahead and do some practices. And at the end of today's class, I'm going to send some exercises to us to practice with, so that we actually understand the language. So that is that about EX7. So the next thing we are going to talk about today, which is very also